Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch Battlestar Galactica, the movie, the plan, because that's it. I finished to watch Battlestar Galactica, the whole series. I made reaction videos for all of my binge watching. If you are new and you didn't know that, I'm gonna put the link, for the playlist so you can check all of my reaction videos into a chronological order. For this movie, I don't know if I'm gonna succeed or not to put the reaction part on YouTube or not. I don't search, who are the owners of the show and if it's gonna work or not. If it's not gonna work, I'm gonna make the same thing, that I did for the binge watching of the show. I'm gonna put the reaction part on the description and you're gonna have the intro and review part just right there on YouTube. Maybe I need to talk about the end of the show that I finished. Ooh! I think almost 2 weeks ago now. Did I change my mind about the end of the show? I don't think so. I thought, just after watching the final episode of the season 4 and the final episode of the show, that it was a good one, that I loved this end, that it worked on me, I cried a lot, I was involved into it, and I appreciated all of the answers to all of the things that they created all along the show, and I appreciated, that answer about them going into that planet and they are naming it Earth because it's their home and they deserve to name it Earth, and they are choosing to live into that virgin planet in a virgin way, I don't know how to say it, without technologies and all of that. And the time jump after that showing that they didn't succeed because you can't succeed with that, with our society now. Of course, we're gonna end with building technologies and wanting some comforts with the technologies, and maybe they're gonna finally succeed to live in peace with the Cylons, because now we have Cylons and humans making babies with each other, and we have the Centurions on space but free, so maybe they can succeed to not have a new war, maybe not. I love that, the fact that they are not answering to that question, the fact that maybe the story is gonna happen again. They are leaving that open, and I love that. I love the fact that they want to do good and to not replicate the same mistakes, even if they are not succeeding, that idea, I loved it. And yes, all of the answers about the 5 Cylons, about what's gonna happen to them, all of that, I appreciated it. But I still have a big issue with Starbuck, the end of Starbuck, because of the fact that I still have so many questions about her. She was involved in so many storylines, in so many big important things, like how she came back from Earth, how, her dad knew that song, who activated that song on the Galactica, it was her or not, how can she be dead on the first Earth and alive after that. All of that, they answered to all of that with the response that she's an angel. It's not satisfying me still now, because it's a sci-fi show, and even if this show was really a lot about religion all along the show, all along the seasons, I saw that, it's still not an answer that can satisfy me personally, but also because of the fact that for the story, for all of these narrative arcs she was involved into, I don't think that it can justify all of that, it can explain all of that. It's a little disappointing for me, you know, that they are using one mystic thing, you know, to justify everything. It's almost too easy, you know. I have the impression that they didn't know how to answer to all of that, so ta-da! The mystic answer. It's not satisfying me, and of course, her disappearing like that at the end cannot satisfy me. Not because of the chip that I had about her and Lee, because I still don't know if it could happen or not. So many things happened, you know, for the two of them. They were meant to be together and at the same time maybe to never be together. Do you understand what I mean? So I'm okay with the fact that they are not ending together, but for me, Starbuck, at the end, maybe I didn't see her living with everyone. I was seeing her leaving the place, you know. I was seeing her taking a radar and going away into the space, or taking a radar and going away to live alone, what Adama did. It was more an end like that I was expected for her character. Something like, after all of what I lived, I can't live with you guys, and it would be okay for me an end like that. But her disappearing again like a mystic thing, no. And Adama's end, on the contrary, you know, I couldn't imagine an end like that for him leaving the place and living alone and dying alone. For a character like him who was loved by everyone and who loved everyone, like everyone was a part of his family, for him to live like that, I understand the symbolic that they put into that act, you know, the fact that finally he can be at peace in retirement, be free almost. I can understand that symbolic, but it's not fitting well with what Adama is, in my opinion, and it's breaking my heart to imagine him dying all alone. It's not a good way to honor his character, you know. Him dying all alone, he doesn't deserve that. After all of his life, all of his wonderful life, and all of what he did, he doesn't deserve to die alone. He deserves to be with his family, his friends, and them honoring him. It's like that. You know, I'm not disappointed by Adama's end. I'm more like, I would have preferred something else, but I'm disappointed by Starbuck's and her disappearing like that, and also this response being the response for all of the storylines she was involved in too. No, not enough, too easy, too mystic for me. Maybe you loved it, maybe it was enough for you, but for me it was not. But that's the end of Battlestar Galactica, and it's not gonna ruin, you know, it's not gonna make me not love the show. That's okay for me, I still love the show, and I just rewrote, you know, the end into my head. Okay, so now I'm gonna watch the movie The Plan and Blood and Chrome. I'm not sure that I'm gonna watch the spin-off, you know, Caprica, that they made about this show. Even if it's only one season, I think that I'm gonna watch it on my own, and maybe I would make a video telling you my impressions about this season of Caprica, but I don't think that I'm gonna make reaction videos about it for all of the episodes. I'm gonna make reaction videos for The Plan and Blood and Chrome. So I think that The Plan, it's about the first seasons of the show of Battlestar Galactica, but in the Cylons side, and I love the idea really because we were missing that point of view. So I really love the idea to discover all of what happened, but from their side. I thought that it was really interesting during the season 3 when we discovered, you know, their side, when Gaius was into their side, because there were a lot talking together, and all of the different models didn't have the same opinions about a lot of things, and I thought that it was really interesting, and I was really like, I want to know what happened before all of this discussion that they had maybe about things that we saw but not from their point of view. So that's why I'm really interested by that movie. You're gonna see that with me because I'm gonna watch it now, and let's go! Maybe the reaction part is on the description, maybe not. And if it's on the description, come back for the YouTube video, for the review. Let's go! That was a great movie. I loved it. I found it slower than what I expected. I know that we had a lot of things happening, but because of the fact that we already knew these things, you know, we didn't have really a lot of surprises. We had a lot of explanations for what we saw during the first seasons of the show. We had the explanations about it, or we had the sides of the Cylons for these actions, but really new actions that we didn't know. Not really a lot of it. This story about that little boy, John, was interesting because it brought something new, and all of this evolution that we saw about the one on Caprica and the one on the fleet were interesting because it was explaining why at the end we had ones who were like that, and at the end that one who decided that to be okay for ending the war. That was interesting and new, but all of the rest we knew already what happened, so it was not a surprise. It was really just explanations. That was really great to see all of that because it was missing during the first seasons. So it was interesting, but it was not exciting, you know, it was not surprising, it was not, you know, big revelations, big things happening. Maybe I was expecting it, you know, to be a movie like Rather was, things that we already know, but presented in a way that it was gonna surprise me and all of that. You know, in Razor, they made that storyline, you know, with that actress, I can't remember her name, and the fact that at the end she was the one who killed, you know, them, these people, these innocent people. That was a surprise. I was not expecting that, so it was a big reveal, it was a big moment of the movie. It was a movie with explanations about things that we already knew, but also with big surprises, big revelations, big events. Right there, during this movie, it was more about explanations, things that we already knew, with each actions, you know, into the chronological order of the first seasons of the show and each explanations for it. Again, interesting and great, but not surprising. I think that what I like the more, it's really that, you know, the explanations about the ones on Caprica and on the fleet, how they evolved and how they ended up like that. That was really great, and a big part of the end, in fact, I mean the end of the show. Also the moments with Boomer, how the one was manipulating her since then, and how they had discussions, you know, the Cylons on the fleet, how they organized themselves. That was interesting. It was great also to have Helen at the beginning, but we are missing still some scenes about Helen. I mean, for the rest of her, how finally she found her memories back, I mean her life with the Colonel, and how Adama found her. I think that it was a good moment, you know, the good opportunity to let us see that. So it was missing during the movie, in my opinion. Because this movie was really written and filmed and produced to see what happened for the Cylons during the 2 seasons of the show entirely. That's why we had so many slow moments, what I call slow moments. But if you want to really have entirely all of that, why are you not putting these scenes for Ellen? Again, it would have been the good opportunity, the good moment to do it. Of course, I missed Starbuck, even if we saw some scenes with her, and of course I missed spending some time with Lee. This movie was really about the Cylons, all of them. Do I miss something else, something that I wanted to see and that I didn't see? I don't think so. Maybe more discussions between the ones at the end could have been interesting, but I'm not sure that it was really necessary. That moment at the end was really great, you know, the ones seeing that the final 5 were on the fleet. I mean, they are dying, knowing that the final 5 are right there, they're gonna resurrect, knowing that the final 5 are on the fleet. And it can explain also why the Cylons didn't attack the humans during a lot of time, because the ones who died, who resurrected, knew it. No, it was great, but see, I don't have a lot of things to say about it because we already knew all of what happened. So I can't make a long review about it. I didn't discover really new things. It was good explanations for a lot of things, but I can't say, oh, that was so great to discover that aspect of the thing, that was so surprising, I'm so shocked, I didn't think about that, wow, no. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh yes, the fact that the 4 on the fleet killed himself to not do what the 1 wanted him to do, that was great, that was new to know that one of the Cylons on the fleet managed to not accept and to not do his mission, you know. We didn't see that copy resurrecting and being against all of the other copies. Like Boomer, she was 1 copy against all of the other copies. Maybe that copy of the 4 could have been against all of the other copies of the 4. Do you understand what I mean? Maybe that's a little unlogical. But yes, it was great. Tell me, what did you think about it the first time that you saw that movie, if you were satisfied about it or not. Tell me if maybe they didn't explain something and I didn't see it. The thing that I can see me missing, it's that thing about Ellen, how Adama found her, how she found back her memories and all of that. I'm satisfied about it for what it was, you know, for all of the explanations that we had, for all of the events that we saw with the Cylons' eyes, with all of what they did for all of them. But maybe the thing that I'm disappointed a little about is the fact that they didn't create a story or a character or something, create surprises during the movie, to create new things. What they wanted to do with this movie, it's explaining the 2 seasons from the Cylon side. So they succeeded. But like they did on Eraser with stuff that we already knew, they could have created a character or story to surprise us. The only one that we had during this movie was maybe about the boy that the 1 finally killed at the end. Maybe it was that, but something else, you know, something bigger could have been interesting for making me more excited and involved into the movie, you know, in tension. I was watching it and enjoying it, but I was not in tension, I was not involved into the story, I was not having big emotions, you know, it was maybe more something like that. Okay, so it's all for the movies The Plan of Battlestar Galactica. We're gonna see each other again for a new video of Battlestar Galactica just once now, for the movies Blood and Chrome. Oh, and yes, maybe for a video to tell you my opinion about the spin-off about Caprica, maybe. Okay, so it's all for you and for me for today, so it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Great.
Next one, next